Hi, my name's Kim Wong, and I'm a native Sacramentan. I grew up here and lived in the Bay Area for many, many years. And I'm a physical therapist. I work at one of the local trauma centers in Sacramento. Love dance, being outdoors, and that's how I also got involved in Mandarins.
Tell us about your involvement and history with the Mandarins.
I almost grew up in it. So my older brother and sister both marched. So I was around drum corps ever since I was probably elementary school age. So I've seen drum corps change from the military style. Like the first year that I marched, I joined when I was 12. I had the full-on shako, the pink satin shirt. To the next year we went to ballet, which I love ballet, so that was a really a great transition for me as a young kid. But as a kid, I just knew I was going to be in the Guard because I just hung around the practices, and then I continued doing drum corps for 10 years, about 8 years in Mandarins, marching in the Guard captain, and instructed for, I don't know, maybe 10 years on and off. Then took a break from drum corps and then came back. Jim DiPucci started asking me about, hey, you interested in doing, working with the corps? This was before health and wellness was called health and wellness. And then 2018, Dr. Dan and myself start trying to figure out what to do for the health and wellness because the activity has just shot up in just the athleticism and just the demands overall that are on the performers these days.
So how has being a woman impacted your professional life? You can share any positive or challenging experiences.
So as a physical therapist, it's a helping profession. A lot of my classmates and coworkers is a majority women. It's helped just being a woman in that, just to have that nurturing part. But also, I think the negative impacts is people's biases. Some of the males, they kind of look at you sometimes, maybe you don't. Like if I'm say I'm going in and doing a co-treat with another therapist or occupational therapist, and they're male, and so they kind of assume that he's the physical therapist and I'm the occupational therapist, or I'm an assistant or something. The competitiveness that I got from drum corps has taught me to try to educate, or just how, in a way, change their mind. It's just like, you need to change your perception of me. And then it's always trying to find a way that I can connect with them.
What advice do you have for young women who are just starting out in their field?
Always be the student, and that's lifelong, keep learning, to watch, to listen, ask questions, and don't overlook the people that you think is like, oh, I'm shooting for the top. You need to also look at people from the bottom up, the unit secretary, to housekeeping, to your entry level person, supervisor, on the way up, because everyone has their role. And if you're discounting other people, this is where drum corps help, teamwork. It is a team effort, but there's always something you can learn. I think from anyone, there's always something, even if they irritate you, you can still learn something.
So you kind of touched on this in a few of your other answers, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit more or think of some other things. But how has your experience with the Mandarins or drum corps impacted your professional journey?
So that stick-to-itiveness, just that drive to keep on going, especially when it's something that might be difficult. We learn that, practice, keep on trying, don't quit. And sometimes, I forget about that, where I start doubting myself, being able to uh, handle some adversities too.
I find myself similarly at work with those things. Drum corps makes a difference, all areas of life. Can you share any thoughts about ways to uplift all women's voices?
It's like be you, which is also part of beautiful. So be you, and then you will be beautiful. Try not to be someone else. I know that's hard when I was younger, trying to figure out, who am I modeling after? And that's the other thing is like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Um, are you being around people that are encouraging and uplifting, but make sure they're not the yes person. They're always saying yes, yes, yes. You need to be around others that are also going to call you out on things. Even if someone thinks a little different from you, we can still learn from them because we weren't all meant to be the same. We were all created uniquely. I was very, very shy. So drum corps has also helped me come out of, I still am, but at times when I do need to speak up, I have to, especially learning to be a guard captain, to be an instructor, and then as a physical therapist, on and on. You just learn from that. So help encourage, nudge those ones that aren't talking, or just get to know them, and then maybe you can be their voice too.
What woman or women in history or present day have you been inspired by, and why?
I say first off, mom. Um, just, especially since she recently passed away, just really appreciate her, in this last year, and just thinking back. Very, very strong woman, not a whole lot of words, but a lot in action too. I would do just a little shout out to Amy Tan for writing the book and the Joy Luck Club. So impact me in that it was one of the first times I was seeing Asians, Chinese Americans, Chinese immigrants portrayed accurately relatable. This is Johnny Erickson Tata. She's a speaker, author, painter, but when she was 17, she got in a diving accident and became a quadriplegic. With that, through her life, she has become advocate for people with disabilities. And through her, personally met a lady named Mary John Ponting, and she's in her 70s. She's probably close to 80s now, but she was still traveling in Ghana. And I remember I was feeling like it was like a hot Texas day, but this is Africa, and we're trying to fit wheelchairs. And she was still out there. Very, very soft voice, but she still had someone speak for her who would, and she had cerebral palsy. So seeing these ladies with the disability, but they are more able than many other people that are not had a physical disability. So with them, they've just been inspiration for me.